Don't you think this is starting to wear on me? You've been raining down like hail. I'm weak. I have tried to give you my soul, but you can't love something you own. It's too late to repair what we made. What can I do? Time flashed by and I woke up on the other side of the moon.
G'day everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Anna and this is You Got Me in Stitches. Hope you've all had a really good week. Today I am coming in at you with a makes video. I have made 4 garments and 2 of which are the same. I am wearing the Wanted Tee by Vanessa Pouze, and the jersey fabric, which is a safari print, is from So Gistily. As always, Teenage Earthling will insert a couple pictures so then you can see the top. I just got it paired up with ready to wear thrifted jeans. Let's talk patterns. Which patterns did I sew? These are the 3 that I decided to make. This is the garment that I have made 2 of, or is it? First up, let's talk about a vintage pattern. So it's Simplicity 6329, and I wanted to revisit this pattern. I have previously made it a bunch of time ago. This view here. Here's the liner, and I used vintage fabric originally and also for this time around. Now the reason I made it again was on Instagram there was So Vintage September. That's obviously now finished, and I wanted to make this pattern and put that in the So Vintage September. So here it is a polyester fabric. It's a little bit thicker fabric than the previous one that I made first time around. Completely different colour and everything. Bearing in mind that this is a vintage pattern, so the size was a 34 bust and it said it was a size 12. But because this fabric was pretty stretchy, and for the most part I do have to make small tweaks to patterns, lengthening in a torso, kind of amending just a little bit around the bust area, so I did do that. Also I did add length. Now originally I added length to this pattern, but I also added just an extra ½ inch this time. It's just where the style lines under the bust area there just came up a little too high, so I just added a bit of extra to the pattern to allow for that, so then that would actually hang better. This pattern also suggests that you could add a tie, so you see there on the liner. I decided to omit that on this one, and originally when I made this dress I didn't add it there either. The fabric that I used for this pattern I'd actually originally thrifted, and at that time when I saw it I had this pattern in mind. So what I'm going to do is flip the camera around and then show and tell about the garment in more detail, and then come back to you, show you the next garment, flip the camera and so on. Righto, so starting off with the front of the Vintage Simplicity dress. So this is the part where I added just a little bit extra, so then that line would actually sit under the bust area. I just zigzagged the neckline there, and I like this little front detail there, so that was just folded and zigzagged there. And the arm side has facings, which you will see when I flip it around. So this is the inside of the front. You can see the arm side facings there, and I really don't like them, but because I wanted to keep the tradition of the vintage style, I wanted to incorporate them. The inside there of that front detail. Neckline, folded that over into zigzagged. I zigzagged throughout because the fabric is quite stretchy. I left all of the raw edges raw because depending on when garments were made, they wouldn't have been serged, so I did not want to serge this garment. Wanted to keep it as authentic as if they would have sewn it originally, and zigzagged that 1/4 inch hem there. This is the back, and it has 2 waist darts there, and then you can see the panels as well. And if I make this again, I think I will take out that, so I'll place that pattern on the fold, and the same with the bodice, because I can't actually get that over my head all okay. Righto, so my second make is the Macarthur pattern, and it's M7756. I made view D, but instead of having those sleeves that long, I actually crop them a little bit so they come to elbow length. Yeah, the sizing on this pattern kind of gets your head scratching a little bit. I kind of would have been based on the pattern size in between a 12 and a 14. I actually decided to go for a 12, traced it out. 12 comes in at 34 bust, 26.5 waist and 36 hip. Now I know that sounds kind of small, but even with that sizing, the top part of the garment came out really large on me. So what I did, I just went around with a rotary cutter and shaved off about a 1/4 inch all the way around, including the shoulders, obviously definitely the side seams, because it's really quite billowy on me. And I left the pants as is. Reason being is because you install elastic in a channel, so it doesn't matter if the pants were too big, because you can then tweak that with the snugness of having the elastic to the size that you require. As I said previously, I have to make amendments to the torso area and add usually anything in between an inch, inch and a half, 2 inches sometimes. I just had to change the camera because the angle of the sun was completely in the wrong place. So as I was saying, yes, had to add an inch to the torso area, but actually it turned out it's still needed a little bit more added to. So if I make this garment again, I'll have to go in and just add probably another 1/2 inch. Just with the elastic, it just sits, it feels just a little bit too high. And also in the pants legs, I have to add to the crotch area, which I did, and again there I'm going to have to just probably add another 1/2 inch because it's comfortable, as opposed to kind of, it needs to just be a little bit more loose and relaxed. This is the garment here. As you can see, I decided to use the Life in Venice fabric, and it came from Sweatshirts fabrics. Really beautiful, soft and drapey, but because it is very thin, I decided to line the entire body's top. I didn't have enough to part line the pants, but later on, if I purchase some more of this fabric, I can go in and line those. Alright, so we have the jumpsuit, starting with the arms. So I took off some of the lengths here. I kept the flutter sleeve part there, so that's added, but instead of having that coming down to the wrist, can you imagine like at the dinner table or something and you reach across to say the sauce? Yeah, it would just go in, or doing the dishes or something or whatever. They're just too dangly by the wrist, so they come up approximately elbow length. It has this deep V. Now when I first put it on, it showed a little bit of the bra, so I actually put just a couple stitches in, but then when I did that, when I came to take it off, I couldn't take it off. So what I'm going to have to do is just sew in a little snip there, just to cover the front of the bra. It has this little tie front there, which I really like, and little gap there, that's just part of the pattern design. You can see the elastic there, so it's gently gathered. It also has pockets, so that's always good. I was thinking, I wasn't too sure if I was going to actually put the pockets in, but in the end I decided to. And then beautiful floaty pants legs, and yeah, they're wide legged. And then all I did was double fold and then just stitch a regular stitch length for the hem. So just turned it round just so you can see the back. So there's no darts or anything like that. The shaping purely comes from the elastic waist. I have now flipped it inside out, so this is the front, where you can see that I did that full lining. It was pretty straightforward. I also stitched in the shoulder area, and also did the same along the side seams, purely to make sure that that sits comfortably and doesn't twist around. And then when you're doing that, you would just treat that as one piece when you're sewing it together. I serged all the raw edges, the channel for the elastic there, and on the flutter sleeves a small double fold hem there with a regular stitch length. You'll see the pockets there, and yeah, so all I did for this pattern, I just duplicated it twice and then lay it over and stitched all the way around, including the ties, and then folded it out because obviously it would have been open at the ends there, so that was pretty straightforward. Now what I did on the pattern piece, the front bodice and the tie, that's all one piece, but because of the fabric and I want to save as much fabric, and you know, when you lay your pattern pieces out, that actually took up quite a bunch of fabric. So what I actually did, I cut out the actual ties separately and then stitched them to the front pattern piece. So that's the only thing that I changed there. But like I said, when I duplicated it, I did that all the sewing is one all the way around. Just quickly show you the back. There's a sleeve, there's the inside, and then like I said, maybe later on I may line the pants, but at the moment I actually managed to get away with not lining them, but I think because I lined the top bodice, I just part lined the pants. It's only because like on sunny weather with, you know, thin fabric, you don't want anything to be seen that you don't really want seen. The final pattern is the Grey Lane Studio Linden Sweatshirt, and I've made a couple of those so far. This time around I wanted to play around a little bit with this pattern and actually turn it from a sweatshirt into a cardigan. So what I do with this pattern, and pretty much most patterns, I do actually trace off. Now what I did, I retraced the tracing because I wanted to make just a couple of little amendments. Those amendments being, for those of you that are familiar with this pattern, it has a band along the bottom. So all I wanted to do was omit that band as a separate piece and incorporate the front and back bodice and the band all in one piece, if I make sense. Probably not. All will make sense when you see when I flip the camera around and show you more detail. And also just add a little bit to the front, because obviously I'm going to open it up so it's then a cardigan, and just to add a little bit of fabric so then it has enough to cross over, because on one of these versions I added snips, so you just have to allow for that, otherwise it would be just a little bit too small in that area. As you can see, I've made two, and if you're familiar with the fabrics, the beautiful fabrics are from Andrea. She has a YouTube channel, Beyond the Pink Door, and then her fabric website is Pink Door, and they are just absolutely gorgeous. Plain, 1 second. I added a couple inches to both of these cardigans, just for a little bit of, I don't know, length when it does get colder, just so a little bit more snuggly. And also, the reason why I decided to opt to make two cardigans is because the cold doesn't really bother me, but sometimes your arms might get a little bit cold, and at least with a cardigan you can still wear it but unbutton it and cool down, as opposed to a sweater. with those, you either wear a sweater as is or completely take it off. And then for people that get cold or get too hot, you don't really have two choices. At least with a cardigan you can still wear it, but wear it open, or when you get a little bit cooler you can just button it up. You button it halfway, just button it to the top, or all the way. So yeah, I think cardigans are very versatile. So, and they go with kind of anything, and you can play around with them. Long sleeves, long sleeves, long sleeves, short sleeves, and you could have cropped length, long length, knee length, and yeah, that's kind of more than going into dusters. But yeah, I think they're fun. So when I start wearing them, they're going to be really super comfy and snuggly. So this is my Linden Sweatshirt heck of into a cardigan, and this lovely hippie yellow mustard fabric from Andrea, and really like the pattern there that it has on this fabric. These are the snips. I wanted a contrast snips on here, and I think I did not too bad there on semi-matching. I mean, it's not that great. Neckband went in okay there, and I did long sleeves. Here we go. And then I took out the cuff part and just double folded and serged and then zigzag stitch there. And the same with the hem, zigzag stitched. There we go, the back is just pretty regular there. So not really much shaping or anything like that. Righto, so this is the inside of the front. I drafted my own facings for the front placket there and serged throughout. Also under stitches to make sure that that held down. I think that's pretty clean. So yeah, I only serged throughout. I don't think I didn't stitch as well. Sometimes I do like to stitch and serge just for that little bit of extra strength, but the only zigzag stitching is on the cuff sleeve bands there and the hem. Yeah, so clean interior. Righto, now the red one. Now I think this red colourway was called Bordeaux, and I made a couple extra additions to this cardigan. Now coming into this neckband, for whatever reason, I think this fabric was so extra super soft. The neckband now, unfortunately, it went a little bit awry, so it's not as neat as the other one. I swapped out snips for 3 hook and bars because a long time ago I had a cardigan that had hook and bars, just 3 like I have here, and then the rest is left open. And I think I did okay with the pattern matching there. And the extra additions they are a tie belt there and 2 deep pockets. I'll just take this tie belt off and then we can carry on looking at the garment. So yeah, again, made sure that they matched as best as I possibly could, these braids. And inside I used a contrast fleece, A for structure, and also because of the weight of the fabric I wanted to find something that was strong enough, but also wanted a contrast, and I thought, well, fleece would work, and I stitched it in a way that there's no peeking. Okay, so the hem zigzag stitch in the same with the cuff of the sleeves, and I opted for long sleeves again. It doesn't look great hanging on a hanger, but you get the idea. And the back is exactly the same as the yellow mustard one there. I meant to say actually before, that's all one pattern piece. If that was the sweatshirt, you would have the additional band, then you would have that seam line, and then this is seamless because there is no additional band there. Like with the other one, I made the inside facing there, serges throughout, and yes, I used a dark colour. You can see the hook and bars more clearly there, and these were thrifted quite some time ago, and there was only 3 of them anyway. So now I was going to make my pockets a little bit smaller, so I got the quick unpick out, or seam rip if you like, and went to tear the stitches out gently, of course, and somehow I caught the fabric and there was a little hole, so yeah, so I had to fix that. So what I was going to do was shorten these pockets, just take an inch off. The reason being is because the tie belt hits where the top of the pockets are, so yeah, it's just one of those things, but it's okay. It's a snuggly cuddly cardigan, so it's no big deal. Just finishing off of the inside of the back there, just so you guys can see that. Alright guys, so that is it for this week for my makes. I just quickly want to say also, last week there was a typo with the word Prague on the override. Yes, we both know how to spell Prague, but unfortunately for whatever reason Teenage Earthling typed so quickly and 2 of the letters got swapped around. So anybody that noticed that, yeah, we can spell. It was just, yeah, silly typo. And also, yeah, today's a little bit random, got a lot going on. And yeah, with fall season and everything, you know that is one of my favourite seasons, with shimmering mists, crisp and cold in the mornings. Yeah, I really like all of that, and took a few early morning pictures this morning, and it is a really sunny day. Yeah, too sunny. I've been fighting with the light too much. So, but I like filming outside, but I know I'm going to have to start doing that inside. I hope you guys have been enjoying sewing or whatever your craft is. I hope you guys are staying safe with everything that is going on currently. Also, I wanted to briefly mention that for my videos and being part of vlogging and things that go along with that, obviously Teenage Earthling does all the techie side. I haven't got a clue. And a friend of mine very kindly lets me use their laptop and the laptop is getting very old. Yes, it's pretty much a relic and there's been a lot of problems with it. So if for whatever reason I don't put up a video and you're thinking, oh no, where am I? It will purely be because the laptop has stopped working and I'm in no financial position to purchase anything like that. I've never owned anything like that. So yeah, if I disappear or something over the next few weeks, cross fingers, let's hope that I don't, that is why. They have obviously been thinking for a while to upgrade to whatever they need for their requirements. So, but I'm just saying this just in case for whatever reason there's a large gap between videos, it may not happen. So cross fingers. Righto guys, so that is enough yakking for me and my makes. So happy sewing, take care everybody, and if you like my video please give me a thumbs up, let me know what you think of the makes, and also if you've made any of these or hacked any of these, and let me know how you got on. Okay guys, until next week, thank you so much for watching. Too much in the sun, it is rappelling off the conservatory. Yeah, another plane. I've had 5. They're only small little aircraft, but they're really noisy. And of course the traffic in the sun. And although I really like the sun, it's just in the wrong place now with fall season and everything, so. He's noisy. Fall season. Calm down.